So in this tutorial, I'm going to just walk you through your income and your payment screen. Now, some people will want more information than others, and that's what this toggle button is for here. But this can be a little bit overwhelming for some people to actually look at the flow of their money and see where everything has come from on a day-to-day basis. So it's important that you feel comfortable just with the overview that you've got here, but the information is available extra if you want to go through it in more detail. But as long as you understand what this income dial shows on a day-to-day basis, so it can have a look at any particular week. It will always show you this current week that you're in. It will give you your current month that you're in and the current year that you're in. But you can select here through the months and look at different months just by pressing these arrows effectively backwards and forwards. And you can also go here and select for specific periods if you want to have a look at a financial year. So we're going to have a look at the month. We're going to have a look at this month here for January, and you can see where this income dial is split into green and grey. So what we're going to show here is this total number here, this 3104, is the total amount of value of all of your appointments and your sales that you've got booked into your diary, or sales that you've actually made during this month of January. And you'll be able to see that this 3104 is split into £2,994 worth of appointments that have been booked into the diary, and then £110 worth of sales that have been originated and made within the month of January. So that's the total, that 2994 and that 110, total that 3104. And of that 3104, you'll see that £1,485 has been paid to date, and 1619, so 1,619 is still to pay, and that's reflected by the green part of the dial reflecting the £1,485. And this grey area here, this money that's still to be collected, showing as 1,619. And again, you'll be able to see that under the paid to date area there. You'll be able to see that you've got this line, this red line here, still to pay of 1619, and the paid to date of 1485. So it's very important this still to pay is accountable for, and by pressing on this button, this is a clickable button, by pressing on this still to pay button, this will directly take you into a screen where it shows you every amount that's still outstanding for work done in that month of January. So you'll have that split down from the 1st of January to the 31st of January, and it shows unpaid appointments in this column, and then if you click on this tab here, it will show you any unpaid sales which haven't been paid in full. So that amount at the end on the right shows you if it's fully unpaid with this red dot, or if there's been a part payment made, exactly how much is still left to pay, so the pending amount due. So you can see that £45 is still outstanding from unpaid sales. And if you click on the unpaid appointments and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that there's an amount of £15.74 still left to pay on appointments. And if you add those two amounts up, that £15.74, and you add that to your total of unpaid sales of your £45, you can go back directly into your income dial and be able to see that the overall amount for January is 1619. So it's very quick and easy for you to be able to still see exactly who owes you money and where you need to go to chase that money. This gives you a little overview of the amount that you're collecting each day, and so if you just hover your cursor over the top, it will tell you an amount. So there's £170 there of appointment payments, and you'll have got £20 of sales payments, and so you can go along and have a look for each one. They're colour coded, and any refunds will show up in orange. So this amount here, these appointments booked in and these sales made, when you've received the money, it will list all of the information here, totaling the amounts here for what's been paid, and you can then split it into sales payments and appointment payments. So these are ones all related to the amounts, any paid and refunded, and it tells you which client it is and the date that they've made the payment, how they've paid, their payment method, and under the sales it shows you what was being paid for. And under the appointment, it gives you the actual service that's been paid for, the method of payment and the amount that was paid, who the client is and the date. And any of these green are all clickable links. On here you can show the income details, so this is the area that you can actually get a lot more information about your movement of money. So just to give you an overview here, this is all to do with any payments that have been due in January related to appointments and sales, and it's split up here. So this first line is any monies carried forwards into January. So this £40 showing here suggests that it was paid prior to January beginning, so previous to the 1st of January. So it could be that you received deposits totaling £40 towards appointments that you actually delivered in January. So the next line relates to monies that you physically received in the month of January for appointments that have been sat in January and have been in your diary in January. And this next line relates to all sales that have been made. So £65 worth of sales were registered in the month of January and you received payments for them. And this one here is for any monies that were received after January but relate to actual services or sales that were given in the month of January. So that totals 15. So all of these figures here total your 1485, which is your total amount here which has been paid to date, and that will all correspond. So under here you've got your still to pay. So this will show all upcoming appointments during January. Now obviously we're after the month of January now, so this should total 0 once this time period is finished. But at the beginning of every month this will show all outstanding monies that are due for the beginning of that week or that month. And there's a little I button here just to remind you exactly what this money relates to. But as you start moving through the month, if the money still haven't been paid and you've got the appointment marked as pending, it will show in this area here. And if you've marked it as attended, but it's still not yet been paid, it will show here. So you've also got a separate line here for any sales made during this month or this week and not yet paid for, so that you can correlate and have a look here and see how much money is relating directly to any sales. So you would want to go back in, for example, if this is a historic month that you're looking at and you're trying to work out what money is due to you, you want to just check that these appointments did actually all get sat. So you want to update your status and change them from pending to attended, and then providing that everybody has attended, this should all the money that is due should be sitting on this line so that you can go and collect it. But this is a good fail-safe way to check that if it was only shown as pending, it might be that the client actually cancelled or didn't come. So you want to make sure that you're updating your status all the time, because that will give you an indication if you're legitimately looking to collect money for appointments that have been attended. So you've got these two figures here, this 1485 and this 1619, and they're shown up here as your paid to date and your still to pay. You've then got two areas here on the right hand side which don't show on this expected income due, and these relate to any monies that you've taken for cancelled appointments. They get taken out of your income dial, but they do show on your net income dial as physically received monies if you haven't refunded them to your client. So they will show up in this area, and again you've got a little I button here to give you information telling you about these monies, that they don't show up in the income dial figures here on the expected income due for this period, but they are shown on the net income dial figures if they've been physically received monies. So down here you've got monies taken for future periods and historic periods. So for example, you might have taken in the month of January monies that are actually for appointments which are going to be sat in February or after that date, and you've got those showing here. So you're taking deposits effectively for that. That's going to be shown up in this line. So this is monies that are paid during this month. So for here it's January, but it's going to be for work or sales that are going to occur after January. So for example, we've got showing here £10. So this is where you've taken a £10 deposit in January, but it's for an appointment that you're actually going to deliver in February or a month after that. And up here is going to be any monies that have been paid in the month of January, but it relates to any sales or appointments that you did previous to January. So it could be people are paying you late for work that you did in December, but this will show up here so that you can account for it separately. So you physically received the money in the month of January, but it doesn't relate to any work that you've actually delivered and given in this month of January. So you can switch that off if that's not something that you want to look at in more detail, and you'll be taken straight down to your list of appointment payments and sales payment. And as I said, every one of these is all clickable so that you can click on each one to be able to see the payment details, and if there's anything that needs editing, you can go in here to edit and delete it under the more options point. You can alternatively just click directly onto the client's name and you'll be taken directly into your client details screen where you've got listed all their appointments, payments, sales and invoices. So we're looking in the month of January, so you'll be able to see a list of all of their payments and what it relates to here. So that's effectively how you'll be going about your looking at and understanding your income payment screen. As I say, everything can be exported directly from here, or you can set it up to auto export on a regular basis. This is your sales payments or your appointment payments, and you specify your dates in this range and choose the format that you want to download your export file. So that's just understanding your income and payments.